This is the Motorola G34, a very strong offering from Moto in the 10K price segment. In today's video, let's go ahead and take a look at 8 things that I feel make the G34 a very interesting option. Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech, and in the interest of transparency, I am collaborating with Motorola on this one. Now with that said, let's get to number 8 on the list and start with something simple, the box contents. We have the typical blue Motorola box with branding all around and the highlights to the back. Surprisingly, inside you find the Motorola G34 with protective plastic. No case here, I guess. Now the variant I have, it's called Ocean Green. This one comes with a vegan leather back. Now Motorola also offers this phone in 2 other colors. There's charcoal black and ice blue, both of which have a PMMA back. Next up, there's the SIM ejector tool and some regular leaflets. We then have this USB Type-A to Type-C cable. And finally, there's the 20-watt turbocharger. I really like the fact that despite this being a budget phone, the G34 doesn't feel cheap. The vegan leather back, it feels nice in hand, and this camera array, I like it. The color matching makes it look quite pleasing to the eye. The G34 is 8mm thick and it weighs in at around 180 grams, so it's quite comfortable to hold and use. Now Motorola has also provided an IP52 rating to protect it from splashes. Turn it around and you're greeted by this IPS LCD display. Now this here's a 6.55-inch panel that's covered by Panda Glass, which is the equivalent of Gorilla Glass 3 for those curious. As you can see, the bezels and even the chin, it's quite thin. The G34's display also gets fairly bright for an IPS, so it's okay to use outdoors on a sunny day. The resolution though, given the price, that takes a hit. It's HD+, so 720p. What do you think? Do you think it's acceptable for this price point? Leave a comment down below. Now the refresh rate is 120Hz, touch sampling 240Hz. The G34, it feels quite smooth to use. And that brings us to number 5. Now Motorola has gone for Qualcomm Snapdragon 695 SoC here on the G34, and the 695 chip, it's paired with 4 or 8 gigs of LPDDR4X RAM and 128 gigs of UFS 2.2 storage. All this is backed up by a 5000 mAh battery. Now the Snapdragon 695, it's a tried and tested mid-range SoC. It's been one for a while now, and it performs just as expected on the G34. It should be fine for your usual day in day out regular kind of usage, and even for the occasional casual game, it should hold up just fine. Now when you are playing the game, the audio sounds good. That's because we do get stereo speakers. Here, have a listen for yourself. Now there is also a headphone jack. Actually, you know what? Let me walk you through the placements. We have the primary mic USB Type-C port and the speaker here at the bottom. The SIM tray is located to the left and it's of the hybrid variety. So yes, you can use a microSD card if you want to expand storage. The earpiece pulls double duty as the second speaker, and up top we have the Dolby Atmos branding alongside the secondary microphone. To the right, here's where you find the power and volume keys, and this power button, it has a fingerprint scanner built into it. Pretty snappy. Then there's also support for FM radio if that's something you like. Additionally, Motorola continues to support a lot of 5G bands, 13 here, and there's also support for VoNR out of the box. Okay, let's talk optics. The selfie camera, it's a 16 megapixel sensor from Samsung, and it does a fairly good job with the selfies. The skin tones are spot on, and there's a reasonable amount of detail. The field of view, it's wide. Now to the back, we have a dual camera setup. The primary is again a Samsung sensor, 50 megapixels, paired with an f1.8 lens. The images, they turned out very good for the price point. There's quite a bit of detail, rich colors, talking about which Motorola provides 2 processing options, Auto Enhance and Natural, the results of which you're seeing here side by side. So you either get a more natural reproduction of colors, or if you want something with a little more pop that's social media friendly, you can choose that too. Now even under low light, the camera held up. The secondary, it's a 2 megapixel macro, and I've never had much to say about these. Software has always been a high point of Motorola phones, and it continues to be so here too. Now it does come with an asterisk though. There are some apps that get installed at first boot, but you can literally even stop them from downloading as I did. And this is what I was left with. Pretty minimal. The interface is quite stockish, though Motorola have their own tweaks tucked underneath this Moto app here. These vary from fan favorites like Chop Chop to turn the flashlight on or off, to Dolby Atmos settings, to Moto Secure where you can set up your secure folder or scramble your pin pad. But for the most part, the interface is quite close to stock. The G34 runs on MyUX built atop Android 14, and Motorola's promised an upgrade to Android 15 alongside 3 years of security patches. Now, personally, I'd have loved to see a 2-year update promise, but hey, at least they didn't launch on Android 13, so given the segment, I'll take the win. Overall, the user experience for day-to-day use, it seems promising. In the limited time I've spent with the G34 so far, it seems to run smooth with very few drop frames. Of course, it's gotta be price, right? At $9999 including offers or $10,999 without, the Moto G34 seems to be very competitively priced. Even the 8GB RAM option is only 1000 rupees more, which does make sense. So what do you think about the Motorola G34? Do you think it's a great entry-level model, or do you feel Motorola could have done better? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye bye.